Hey everybody, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Straight Jacket White Rabbit. As always, my name's Adam and I'll be your host. You guys, forests are a naturally creepy place. And a very rough terrain, especially when those forests are in mountainous areas. Well, there's a place I've been waiting to touch on because it has so many different types of subjects that I talk about, from hauntings to UFO crash sites to Bigfoot to feral humans to bird reptile hybrids. I mean, it has it all. Shapeshifters. I'm talking about the Appalachian Mountains. Appalachian Mountains, you guys, is a mountain range in the eastern part of North America that stretches all the way from Canada down to Alabama. Now, there's no shortage of stories in these mountains, as I just said, but the one I want to focus on today is a particularly disturbing account, or accounts, of feral humans. Now, a lot of people are like, feral humans in America? It's not as crazy as it sounds. There are reports of feral humans in the Appalachian Mountains dating back all the way to the Civil War. A lot of people claim that the mountains are a magnet for outcasts from society, deserters from war, moonshiners, people who just want to be left alone and live off the grid. Now, we know for a fact that there are families that live in the Appalachian Mountains that simply live off the grid. Those are not what we're talking about. As odd as some of those families may be, with tendencies of incest and inbreeding, they cause physical deformities to those families, and there is a lot to touch on there. But that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking, you guys, about truly feral humans. Humans who have been away from civilization so long that they no longer seem human. They've almost reverted back to an animalistic caveman way of life. Now, there are quite a few stories of this in the Appalachian Mountains, you guys, a lot of which coming from the Smoky Mountain Range. But a lot of these sightings, you guys, are from credible witnesses. We've had doctors hiking trails who've seen completely naked humans covered in very long matted hair. A lot of them reported with facial deformities of some sort, be it a cleft palate or other facial deformities, odd ridges on their forehead, things of this nature. There's one woman who claimed while she was walking with her family on a hiking trail that her and her brother went just off trail, maybe 20 feet, when they stumbled upon this shape of a man kneeling over what appeared to be a dead deer carcass. When this person noticed them, it looked up. This man was rough and worn from weather. He was completely naked and hairy. And as he looked at them, they could actually see the raw deer meat still hanging halfway out of this man's mouth, as he sits there ferociously chewing at this deer carcass. And the two kids who are the witness to this, now adults, said that he looked just almost seethingly hateful towards them. He looked angry. It was a wild, primal stare down. Not from a person to a person, but more from predator to prey. There have been many reported stories and urban legends about the wild humans of the Appalachian Mountains who've turned cannibal. Now, we don't have any hardcore proof. Nobody's ever found these cannibals. But we do have lots of witness statements, an odd number of disappearances, and estate services and park rangers who refuse to cooperate with investigations. Are you aware that the Appalachian Mountain Trail is one of the very few areas in the entire United States that does not report its missing persons number, let alone its fatalities? They haven't for decades. They no longer report missing people because so many people go missing there. It's almost to the point of being ludicrous, you guys. And it's not that people just go missing there. More people that go missing in the Appalachian Mountains are not found. No sign, no equipment, no blood trail, no anything. No evidence of them even being there. More people go missing there and are never recovered. And I mean, like I said, never recovered in the aspects of none of their items were recovered, their camping gear wasn't recovered, nothing of personal value or of theirs was ever recovered, no bones. There's a disturbing amount of these disappearances that I've been able to look up. Well into the thousands. Now, a long time ago, before they quit reporting, they averaged roughly 7 to 10 missing people a year just in the Smoky Mountains. That small part of the Appalachian Mountains. If you're counting the entire mountain range, which is over 2,000 miles, you guys, this is not a small mountain range. It's over 2,000 miles long, with trails going all over this thing. I mean, literally, there's hiking trails that are the entire length of this mountain, you guys. So what could cause this many disappearances? These mountains, yes, I mean, if you're not careful, you guys, camping and hiking and things can be dangerous. But we're talking in numbers way above just a normal, a few hikers going missing here and there because they wandered off trail and got lost. We're now into, like I said, thousands. And it continues to this day. These are where horror movies ideas come from, you guys. The urban legends about these things have come up in the movie Wrong Turn, for instance. They talk about these cannibalistic families living out in the woods. Now, I'm not saying that there are or are not feral people, and I don't discount what some people say about them. But I don't think they're living in caves per se. What you have to know about the Appalachian Mountain Range, you guys, is it's full of mines. And I mean hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mines. A large portion of which have been abandoned for literally over 100 years. Could they be living in these caves, using them for shelter, heat, warmth? These mine shafts would make a good place, or some of them would, to get you out of the elements. After all, I don't believe that these feral humans are living without any kind of shelter. We're talking about a mountain range that has severe winters. One can easily freeze to death up there without the right protection. So is it possible that feral humans have adapted to live in this long, very, very isolated mountain chain? And yes, I'm aware there are a lot of big cities near these mountains, you guys, but that doesn't mean they're not isolated. There are thousands of miles of rough, rugged, in some cases impassable terrain. Knowing what I know about these mountains, you guys, I want to give you a brief rundown of the things that are suspected to live or to have at one point been in this mountain range. Okay, we're talking about aliens, the Flatwood monster incident that happened back in 1952. Okay, a 10-foot tall alien with a spade-shaped head. We're talking about the woodbogger, okay, Virginia's Bigfoot-like creature. We're talking about the snallygaster, a bird-reptile hybrid often reported in Maryland and West Virginia. We've got devil dogs from Pennsylvania. We've got the raven mocker from the Cherokee mythology. We've got devil monkeys, you guys, reportedly seen. Large primates with long tails and an aggressive nature. We have feral humans. So these mountains quite literally have an abundance. Mothman has been reported here, you guys. What is it about these mountains that draw this many people to see these many species of cryptids or monsters, aliens, ghosts even? What is it about this terrain in these mountains that, I mean, is everyone hallucinating when they go there? I don't think so. So how can you possibly discount all of these witnesses? We're talking thousands of witnesses of all of these creatures, you guys. Hundreds and hundreds of witnesses of feral humans over the decades. Something has to be in these woods. Now, as far as the feral humans go, they've been seen in all shapes and sizes. Some of them wearing primitive furs. Others completely naked. We've seen men. There's been claims of feral women, feral children in these woods. Could this all just be people's active imaginations? What about all the voices heard from the woods? People hear voices. They hear mimicry. Sounds that are coming across as people trying to mimic what you're saying, but with more of a broken English. We've also found what look like little stick figures made by tying twine, or homemade twine, I should say, around sticks, making little doll shapes with them. Are there really feral humans in these woods? And if so, are they attacking and cannibalizing, possibly, other humans? Now, these stories are as old as time, and there are witnesses who, some have passed on, some have been more recent, who have said that they've encountered these things. But we don't have a lot to go on as far as the feral humans, with the exception of a few stories where bones were recovered, human bones, that had odd, I'll say, teeth marks on them. Now, the reason these teeth marks were odd is because two different studies into these bones determined that the teeth marks on them were human. So you have human bones with human teeth marks on them. People say we don't have evidence, but to me, that's pretty substantial evidence. If you have dentists saying that these are human teeth on human bones that were found in the woods. Now, some people say that the bones had charring on them or not. I could not find any report that mentioned that whatsoever. So I couldn't say the bones were cooked or anything like that. But there were teeth marks on these bones that were human. Do I put it past a human, especially a feral human, to eat another human? No. Do you see the sick kind of people we have in our society today, guys? I don't put anything past people, let alone feral people who are, for all intents and purposes, like an uncontacted tribe. Now, you guys, I'm also not saying that it's overrun with feral people, okay? We're talking about small family units, if anything. Maybe a few individuals here and there from these families have broken off and gone off by themselves. But I believe this is a more of a family type of thing. I believe that there are some individual feral humans in these woods, but I believe some of these are family units because we've seen children and women and men all feral in these woods. So they've got to be procreating if there's children. It just, that's where my mind goes, is there's some kind of a discarded human family that lives in these woods and could possibly be attacking other humans. Now, why do we get the feeling that they're attacking other humans other than the teeth marks, you guys? Because there are accounts, there are dozens and dozens of accounts of these things chasing people down. I mean, these people who were run after felt like their lives were in jeopardy. One couple said they barely made it to their car. This was back in 2014. That's not that long ago, you guys. 2014, this man and woman were hiking in the Smoky Mountains. They weren't that far from where they parked their car, maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles into the woods, when they came upon an odor that made them gag. They said it smelled worse than anything they'd ever smelled before. And as they were kind of on edge and looking around thinking there could possibly be a fresh kill or for some kind of a kill area that a predator has made, they said that a man standing about 6 feet tall, hairy body, not monkey Bigfoot hairy, but hairy body, and long matted knotted black hair, full beard, ridges on his forehead, came flying out of brush near them, screaming and hollering incoherently. They took off running at a full sprint, all the way back down to the parking area where they had put their car. They got in their car, and as they pulled off, one of them looked back. And just as they were out of basically the ability to see these people, just as they were out of range, they caught a quick glimpse of it, something peering out from behind this tree by the lot. They believe, if you ask either one of them, that this feral person had chased them all the way to their car. They both adamantly on film say that they believe, had they not made it back to the parking area, that they would have possibly been killed. Now, you guys, if there are feral people out there, don't get me wrong, there are more than enough ways to survive. You've got berries, you've got deer, you've got small game, you've got fish. There's an abundance of water supply running the length of Appalachian mountains, from rivers and streams and creeks to natural springs. But who are these feral people? Most legends started around the Civil War, saying that bands of soldiers who basically refused to fight, or people who were drafted to fight and refused to, had escaped to these mountains and were hiding out. And after the years and years of being in seclusion, they just became feral. We know that people stranded on desert islands have lost the ability to talk after being there for so long and not using their speech. Is it possible that a group of humans living in these mountains could have possibly created a family unit and could possibly be producing feral offspring from birth? Could you imagine walking down a trail and feeling eyes on you that shouldn't be there? And then when you turn, seeing a person without clothes, covered usually in dirt and mud and all other manner of things. What would your response be to see one of these things come sprinting after you on a trail? Now, although these aren't the typical monsters that I discuss, you guys, I will tell you right now that humans have the biggest potential to be monsters. We're dangerous. That's why I wanted to include feral humans in my cryptids area in my page. Feral humans are animals. We're animals. We're just smart enough that we can kind of pretend we're not. Human beings are still animals, you guys. Violent, hostile, aggressive, horny animals. Our entire species. With very, very few exceptions. A lot of humans are run off of their base instincts. Their baser instincts control them. Could we be looking at almost a regression to caveman-like human beings? Like I said, there's mine shafts littering the 2,000-mile mountainscape that could easily be home to any number of cryptids or wild humans. Can thousands of witnesses who have seen men, women, and children, clothed and unclothed, living up in the Appalachian Mountains, could they all be wrong? What do you guys think about the feral humans in the United States? Is it something that really exists? Or is it like the government says, just a simple case of misidentification? We all know how they like to tell us that we've seen things that we don't think they are. Hell, people reported alien metal and wreckage and stuff in Roswell. They told us it was a weather balloon. So who do we believe here? Do we believe the government? Or do we believe the witnesses, who include park rangers? The people who actually go deeper into this forested area. There have been handfuls of park rangers, guys, who have seen these feral humans. Why will we not recognize that they're there? Why do we not report the numbers of the staggering numbers of missing persons in the Appalachian Mountains? It doesn't make any sense. Something is being hid from us. I've told you guys before that they've protected areas and zones like these for Bigfoots, national park systems and whatnot, using the, strict guidance of you can only camp at campsites instead of going off in the woods like some people used to do to go camping. They seem to be telling you, stay out of the deep woods. I've seen on forest trails signs discouraging you from going any further. Rough hiking ahead. Please don't continue. They never used to have stuff like this. Is this our government just trying to exert another form of control over us, trying to get us not to look into these things? Do they know that these things exist in these woods? I mean, like I said, these woods in particular, guys, have so many cryptids and unexplained creatures and events. What are they hiding in the Appalachian Mountains? What could be causing this mix of strange creatures to call this area home? I personally believe it's a mix of some things, you guys. It's the perfect area to live as far as food and water go. There's an abundance. You could literally go there right now with very little skill and still survive on the food and water that you could find for yourself and scavenge for yourself. Wild berries, mushrooms, many edible plants, small game, medium game, large game. And let's be honest, if we're talking about cannibalistic feral humans, you're never running out of food. Because this is one of the most visited mountain ranges in the entire world. People come to the Appalachian Mountains from all over, from many, many different states, for many different reasons. Some come for the scenery and hiking, others for the fishing or hunting. There's tons of reasons to go, and it's a beautiful place. But it's a beautiful place marked with death, marked with mystery, marked with creatures we don't understand and people that we've forgotten. So if you're ever in the Appalachian Mountains and you feel a set of eyes on you, you better be careful. They could be human. And they could be hungry. Anyways, you guys, this has been Straight Jacket White Rabbit. I'm going to call it a night here. I love all of you guys. Thank you very much to all my members. You guys are amazing. You keep me running. Thank you so much for all the likes and subscribes, guys. Share my content wherever you get a chance. I appreciate all of the good words and the cheers and, everyone urging me to do more videos. I really appreciate the support, you guys. It means so, so much to me. Like I said, look at my page. You guys can shoot me an email. If you want to help out and donate, I've got PayPal, or you can do it through the Super Chat stickers and things like that. I appreciate you all. I want you guys to stay safe. Have a great rest of your guys' weekend. I'm going to go enjoy some family time with my son, Alexander. And I hope you guys have a blast for the rest of your night. This has been Straight Jacket White Rabbit, signing off.